Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in time. Hello, and thank you very much for joining us. I'll give you guys a minute to read our disclaimers that are on screen. As more people begin to join us, I'll give them a few more minutes before really getting going. But just to start, I will introduce myself. My name is Alofa, and I am the event organizer on behalf of the Samaritan Counseling Center, while Anissa, today's tech guru, is the event organizer here on behalf of Nami Hawaii. This workshop is for educational purposes only and is not therapy or treatment advice. Please consult your physician or a qualified health provider if you have specific mental health concerns. Also, this is being live streamed to the NAMI Facebook page, and we are recording this workshop so we can upload it to the SCCH YouTube channel later. If you prefer, you are welcome to change your name on Zoom to protect your privacy. Please keep in mind that we want to create a safe space that is supportive and where everyone can feel free to share their stories and questions and receive understanding and compassion. And welcome everybody today to Creative Coping Identity Poetry, presented by Nami Hawaii and Samaritan Counseling Center Hawaii. Samaritan Counseling Center Hawaii is a nonprofit organization that provides professional, accessible mental health counseling sensitive to the spiritual traditions of individuals, families, and communities in Hawaii, regardless of their ability to pay. We also participate in community outreach and events like this one to provide mental health education, strengthen resilience, and help reduce the stigma of mental illness. Now, I'll pass it over to Anissa so she can talk a little bit about Nami Hawaii.
Hi, everybody, and good morning. My name is Anissa. I am the program director for Nami Hawaii. I just wanted to come on and let you guys know some of our free programs we have right now. We have support groups for both peers and peers are individuals living with a mental health condition. I lead one of them. And then we also have for families of loved ones with a mental health condition. We also have two free 8-week courses, one for peers and one for family members as well. So if you know somebody that's struggling or having a hard time, or a loved one of somebody that's having a hard time, please send them our way. We have lots of resources and support to help them.
And if you'd like to learn more about what's offered at these organizations, you can visit namihawaii.org or SamaritanCounselingCenterHawaii.org, and we'll have links on screen at the end as well. And of course, we would not be here today without our wonderful guest speaker, Destiny Sharion. Destiny graduated from Hawaii Pacific University in May 2019 with her bachelor's in social work, and again in May 2020 with her master's in social work. Advanced standing. Throughout her master's program, she represented HPU and the Council on Social Work Education as a Master's and Minority Fellow. During her time at HPU, Destiny was the secretary for the Black Student Union and the president of the Social Work Club. She also participated in HPU's first ever production of the Me Too monologues, where students utilized artistic expression to share stories of sexual assault, recovery, and resilience. Destiny is an accomplished spoken word artist and poet who believes in art as activism, delivering powerful testimony at the legislature on issues like police violence and the horrors of mass incarceration in spoken word form. Destiny was part of the slam team that represented Hawaii at the National Poetry Slam competition in both 2017 and 2018, and was the Hawaii representative for the 2018 Woman of the World Poetry Slam. Her poetry is mostly centered around healing, self-discovery, and revolution. And with that, we'll get started, and I'll pass it over to Destiny.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so happy to see all of you here. I'm grateful you could all join us today for this second installment of Creative Coping, and I'm really grateful to be able to host and conduct this workshop with you guys today. Before we get started, I just wanted all of us to take a minute and take 3 deep breaths together so we could just set the stage for our writing practice morning, afternoon, midday, whatever day time it is for you today. So I'm going to go ahead and count us in. If you want to take a deep breath in on 3 and hold it for 4 and then deep breath out. So we'll go in on 3, 1, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4. We'll do another 2 more of those. So in, hold, 2, 3, 4, release. One more big one together. In, hold, 2, 3, 4, release. That breath might have been more for me than anyone else, but I hope it all helped to settle everyone down. If we can go ahead and switch to the first slide. So I just wanted to let you all know that this time we're going to be doing identity poetry. And identity poetry is a poetic style that asks the writer to describe themselves in an artistic fashion. We're going to use different poetic devices to write about who we are on a micro, mezzo, and macro level. It's going to relate to our connection to place and community. And I thought that we could start off this time. Everything we do, I want you guys to write down. So if you don't already have a pen and paper handy, go ahead and grab one, because we're going to incorporate each part of this practice into our poetry today. So I thought that we could begin by going around the space and everyone introducing themselves with their name and how they're feeling today as that relates to a color, as well as kind of a personality trait of yours as that might relate to a plant. So I know those are a little different. And so if it's okay with you guys, I'll gladly start off. As you know, my name is Destiny. I would say that my color is yellow because I'm quite a happy person. And my personality would be a Venus flytrap, because although I may be pretty to look at times, I can snap if I need to. Anyone want to go next?
I'm Chaz.
Hi, Chaz.
I'm feeling inspired, and I think my color is purple, and I'm a taro root. I'm rooted where I am, and I want to nourish and be nourished and give nourishment.
I love that. Make sure you write that down, because we're going to use that to incorporate into your poem later.
I'll go.
Hi.
My name's Yasmin. My color today is blue black, and I would describe myself as a Christmas cactus. Colorful, but prickly.
Colorful, but say that again.
Prickly.
I love it.
I can go next.
Okay.
I'm Chris. My color would be a teal green, just because I feel like I kind of want to be seen, but I kind of also want to blend in the background. And a plant that I would be is probably a spider plant, just because I'm resilient, can't really kill me. And then also because I have so much passion for things, so it just seems to kind of keep building and building and building as spider plants do.
I love that. That's great.
Hi, my name is Marilyn. I think my color is kind of vacillating between a murky green and a vibrant turquoise blue. It's a big contrast. And my personality, probably at times it's like a dolphin, and other times it's like a mole. So.
Okay. I see some people are responding in the chat. That is A-okay. Does anyone else want to share with us the reason for this icebreaker, by the way, is I think that sometimes when we start writing poetry, it can be intimate. And I love when people are able to share what they write. And I understand that doing icebreakers and just kind of sharing our names and a little bit about ourselves might make the space a little bit more comfortable to share deeper information.
So my name's Carol Ann. I do go by Carol Ann instead of Carol. My mood today is a peaceful turquoise. For the sky, for the sea, for the way my soul is feeling today. And I think my personality today, a plant, is palm tree, because I'm learning to sway and bend with the weather as it changes and not break.
I'll go. My name is Yvonne. Today I'm feeling pretty calm, which makes me think of the color purple. And my personality is, I think, like a sunflower, kind of trying to stand tall, but sometimes drooping because maybe I'm not feeling so great all the time.
And that's okay, especially if you can say it out loud. Thank you for sharing that. I see a few people went into the chat. I've got Sheldon, Chris, Anissa, Emily. Does anyone else want to share verbally or on screen? Or I've got Amy still, Joyce.
I'll go.
Okay.
It's Andrea.
Hi, Andy.
Hi. So yeah, my name is Andy. I'd say today I'm feeling reflective. And there's a lot of colors that come to mind, but I'm gonna go with green. Like a deep forest green.
Okay.
And my personality plant right now, I've learned to become very calm and gentle in the last few years. So I would say I'm a fern, and I'm also always striving for like balance, and ferns are really, they circulate nutrients to all their parts through their vascular system. So yeah, that's me.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Hi, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Rochelle. Today I'm feeling kind of a bright orange because I'm excited today to be here and because I have a ceramics class later today. So I'm excited about that. And my plant today is, I feel like a plumeria today. You know, nothing too fancy, but kind of dependable and pretty. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Rochelle.
Can I? I'm sorry, I missed the directions. Can I be a lily koi vine? Anyway,
yes, absolutely. Of course, Marilyn. Make sure you write it down because you're going to need to remember it in just a little bit, okay?
So as some of you who were here at the beginning might know, my name is Alofa. Today I'm feeling a baby pink. I'm tired, but I feel light because of an awareness of just the possibilities that life can bring, and just an excitement in that sense. And for my plant today, I've chosen bougainvillea because while I may be thorny, but I can also bring like a pop of color.
I love that. I love that explanation. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Sunny or Alex, would you care to share with us? I'm going to go ahead and go forward, but if you don't want to share out loud or put it in the chat, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you write it down because, like I said, we're going to incorporate this into our piece in just a little bit. So it was really, really nice to meet all of you. Thank you for giving us a little bit of yourself with your sharing your name and a color that describes your mood today, so we can all kind of be aware of the beautiful rainbow that we're collecting together on the screen today, as well as a plant that kind of lets us know a little bit about who you are as a person. What you're going to see on the screen now is how I've learned to break down pretty much everything in the world. I come from a social work background, so we talk about everything on a micro, mezzo, and macro levels. So today we're going to spend some time writing poetry that's describing who we are. I broke down, I made this more simple than it might actually be, but I broke down who people are on a micro, mezzo, and macro level. So for the micro level, I thought we could describe ourselves in our physical attributes. So what I want you to do is just take a little bit of time. I'll give you about 3 to 5 minutes. It's probably, if you're done before then, you can maybe give me a thumbs up emoji, and then we can move on. But to write down 3 to 5 physical attributes about yourself. What's on the screen now are the examples that I've written down. So just brainstorm, take some time, jot them down, and this is going to start off your I am phrases. And then if you haven't already, you can, the next section is going to be the mezzo aspect of who we are. So to me, I thought this would be describing kind of your personality in a little bit more detail. So if you could take a few minutes to write down 3 to 5 words that describe, or phrases that describe who you are as a person. And this is going to be the section that starts off with I feel. And then if you want to take the last couple minutes to write down 3 to 5 words that are going to be describing your spiritual, religious beliefs. This is not to be taken heavily. This is just things that you believe in. So this is to me, this is the macro. When we talk about identity, we talk about, I think oftentimes people get pigeonholed or pushed into one aspect of who they might be, like a woman, and then you're just a woman, but there's so many different aspects to who we are as people. And so I thought it would be helpful to take the time to kind of break down these different aspects of who we truly are and what that means on these different levels. So the last couple minutes, if you could write down 3 things that describe your beliefs, really. It doesn't have to be spiritual, it can be spiritual. It doesn't have to be religious, it can be religious. But this section will start off with I believe. Oh, don't worry, Miss Saunders, V, if it's okay if you joined in late, that's no problem. Did you want to take a minute? I can go back, and did you want to introduce yourself to everyone? We started off by saying our names, a color that relates to our mood, and then a plant that relates to our personality.
My name is Shanae. A color would probably be orange, as my shirt, full of fun and bright. It's a weird day out there. And a plant. I'm not really too good with plants, but I would say, yeah, I don't really know plants too well.
You want to give us an animal?
A sloth.
Okay. Can you tell us why the sloth?
I'm just kind of tired. My allergies are bothering me.
No problem.
All day.
That's fair. That is fair. Okay, no problem. And make sure that you remember what you said or write it down somewhere, because we're going to refer back to that in just a little bit. When I was discussing this workshop, I really wanted to dig into, like I said, people are often kind of put into one role, and it's hard to see people outside of the role that you know them as. So your mom, you always see her as your mom, and you forget that she's also someone's wife, someone's sister, maybe someone's boss or coworker, someone's best friend. And so I thought it was really important to kind of not only break down who we are on multiple levels, but also talk about our relation to place. I feel like oftentimes identity gets lost in this idea of diaspora, where we are displaced from the place that we have, maybe our family has planted roots. And sometimes it can be challenging to replant those roots, or to understand how we're connected to where we live, or where we are, and how that impacts who we feel as if we're becoming in different stages of our development. So in this next section, I want you to take 3 to 5 minutes, however long it takes. So just give me a thumbs up when you're done, to write down words that describe where you live. To make this more clear, there's going to be 3 stanzas, and the first stanza is going to say my home. And so write down some words that describe your home. The next stanza is going to say I live. So write down some words that describe where you live. That could be your neighborhood, the state that you live in, your city, anything like that. And then the following stanza is going to be to describe the country, because again, living in a place isn't just the house that you live in. It isn't just the area of town you live in or the state, but it's also connected to, the country and those types of things. So my example of this is, my home is a studio apartment. I live in an illegally occupied territory. This country is not my own, is not mine. So that's my example of that section. So if you guys want to take 3 to 5 minutes to brainstorm that and think on a description of your home, of the area in which you live, and the country that you live in, and how that relates to you as a person, as an individual. I will check back in at about 4:34, 4:35. But if I see a lot of thumbs up before then, we'll move in. And if you brainstorm faster or move more quickly through that, you can go to the next parts, but I'm going to hold off on those for just a second if you guys want to take some time to really flush out that part. Okay, so if anyone's still working on that, that's totally fine, but I'm just going to discuss kind of the next two steps so we can give you guys time to wrap up those first prompts and then work your way into the next couple prompts. So when we talk about ourselves, I also think that the things that we fear really can help to understand who we are and maybe our background a little bit too, as well as our biggest dreams. And I feel like those are almost a stark contrast and really powerful when you put them together into poetry, talking about your dream, your biggest dream, and then also your biggest fear. It kind of expands and retracts really well when writing. So if you can just take a minute to write down, and it doesn't have to be one thing. If you have a list of things that you dream to do or become, please write as many as come to mind. Or if there are a list of things that you're afraid of, or a couple things that you're evenly afraid of, that's okay too. Write them all down. But if you want to take the next, 2 to 3 minutes to go ahead and just write down your biggest fears or some of the things that you're afraid of, and your biggest dreams, some of the things that you hope to aspire to either see in your lifetime or become. Because I personally have no idea what I want to be when I grow up. I just hope I don't ever really grow up. So if you want to take a little time to brainstorm that and write it down, please do that. And I'll just check back in at about 4:38. So in about 2 minutes. If you need more time than that, please let me know. Like I said, I sometimes need to slow down. So just remind me and I'll take a beat for you guys. So the reason that I thought it would be important to do a segment on identity poetry when we're talking about poetry as a creative form of coping with anything, be it mental illness, stress, burnout, whatever the coping is, we all need coping mechanisms. And writing, I find personally to be a great tool to help process in general. But identity is something that I feel many people struggle with, or maybe not. But finding and knowing who you are and being rooted in that belief can really be foundational for you to feel secure and supported going forward, and knowing how to ask for what you need and how to set clear boundaries. Because when we are not sure of who we are, sometimes other people's beliefs can become our own, or other people's lack of boundaries we absorb and even though it doesn't feel comfortable, we'll go with it. So for me, I hope this is helpful for you all to find your footing and be really rooted in who you are as a person, so that when you are out in the world and with other people or faced with adversities, you can remind yourself, I know who I am. I have clear boundaries and I have a clear path to my identity and how that connects me to the place that I live. So that's my hope with this, and I hope that you all appreciate it. I know it's been in pieces, but in this next slide, you're going to start to see it all come together into a poetic format. So this is the outline for how we're going to pull all of that together. There are a couple other pieces in here that weren't in the brainstorming part, because I think that you probably know those things more quickly. You don't have to brainstorm about them. So the parts you're going to see in here that weren't in there is just the familial connection. So in that section, you would write daughter of, or son of, brother to, or sister to. So if you remember in the beginning of our session, we started off by saying our names. So your name will be the first line of your poem. The second line of your poem will be your color and mood. So for example, I would be Destiny, the happy yellow. Oh, and then it should also be the plant. I'm sorry. So it should be your color, mood, explanation. So it would be the Destiny, the happy yellow Venus flytrap, right? And so you would put your name, your color, mood, and your plant. And then you could go into explaining why you chose that plant or why you chose that color. In the next section of your poem, I know this is a little bit, it might be very wordy right now, but on our next slide, I'm going to show you how it all comes together. But for right now, I just want to flesh it out and explain it to you a little bit. So the first line of the poem is going to be your name. So for example, mine was Destiny, the happy yellow Venus flytrap. And then the explanation. I am a, and then your physical attributes. Daughter of your mother's name or father's name. Sister to your families, your relatives, if you have. If not, you can just omit that line. It's not necessary. I feel, and then you'll write down the section, the words that I asked you to write down in the I feel section. And then you'll write down the words that I asked you to brainstorm for the I believe section. And then my home is, I live in this country. Your biggest fear, your biggest dream, something that you want to share with us. So something that you give. And then you'll repeat your name, your color mood, the explanation, your dream, and your fear. So I know that's it's a little wordy here and might be a lot to take in, but if we go to the next slide, I'll read you how mine came out, and then we'll put the outline up again, and I'll give you guys about 10 minutes to put it together, 5 to 10 minutes to put together. Okay, so this is how mine came out. I did the same exact workshop that I just gave to you guys. I ran it on myself. So mine said, Destiny Sharion, the happy yellow Venus flytrap. I am pretty to look at, but will snap any predator who tries to nibble my petals. I am a Black, all-natural woman, daughter of Caprice Michelle, big sister to Jordan Elaine, who feels outspoken, sensitive, and introspective all at the same time. I practice meditation and believe in poetry as offerings to my ancestors. My home is a studio apartment. I live in an illegally occupied territory. This country is not my own. I am afraid that I will die and no one will remember my name. I dream of changing the world and want to see my people free. I am Destiny Sharion, the happy yellow Venus flytrap, pretty to look at, but will snap any predator who tries to nibble my petals. And I will die to see my people free, even if they don't remember my name. I've read that like 10 times, so don't think that I just like wrote it and it came out sounding like that. Like I practiced before I came on to do this with you guys. So if you want to, I welcome, challenge, encourage you to take the next 5 to 10 minutes to put that together. If I could get the outline slide back up. Yep. So this is the outline. Remember, you have all of these things already written down on your paper. So this point is just putting it together in this type of format. I believe in you. You can do it. Let me know when you're done.
Okay. Could you please explain the I give part?
Yes. So something that I may have, you can take that part out if you want to, but it was another thing I thought. So like I had originally written, I give too much of myself and not enough at the same time, but I think I omitted that line, to be honest with you. So you can choose to keep that in or take it out, but it's just something that you give freely of yourself.
Thank you.
No problem. I would love to offer space for people to share. That's always, to me, one of the most powerful parts of all of the poetry is being able to put voice to your own words and tell your story. So if anyone wants to do that, I'm so eager to hear what you have created.
Glitch in the Matrix is what I call myself. Chaz Hill, Han Chol Su, inspired purple. I'm a taro root, nourishing and being nourished in my waterbed row. I am passionate, sensitive, and interested. Respond to touch, shape, voice. Son of D and C, brother of JTE, My home, loving arms embraced. My home, Korea, North Carolina, Hawaii, in the air, walking grounded in a belief in good. Small, tall, when we fall. This country is unknown to me. I sometimes fear I will discover I'm not here after all. But I also hope I am here, because here is where, despite my fear, big fear, I dream even bigger dreams. Sit with me, Carole King and Aretha the Queen. Move aside Lil Nas and Elton John. I give space to any audience who welcomes me. My name, Chaz. Hanchosu. I am purple from the bruises and eating garden beets, counting the inspiring beats, bells, wind tones, groves in the grooves in fern groves, whispering. Though I dream and I fear, I won't get to sing it enough. How to explain is to invite you to sing with me. Love has no borders. Nourishing, nourishing, be nourished.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I like how you really went in and kind of developed it into your own shape. This is just a framework, and that's exactly what I hope everyone will do, is take it and run with it as you will. It's grand. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share? Don't let time be a factor. I'm willing to sit here and listen to anyone who wants to share their poem. So please, please, please.
I'll go.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I wasn't expecting to. It is draft. I'm not going to make any excuses. I'm going to stop. I'll just go ahead and read. Yasmin Newson. I'm a moody blue-black prickly Christmas cactus, colorful, attractive, but guarded. I'm a tall, bronze, powerful, unique, attractive woman, daughter of Anna L., big sister to Timothy B., who feels stubborn and independent, strong, creative, and imaginative. I practice meditation, yoga, chanting, all in the hope of improving my karma. My home is in the heart of downtown, a corner unit in a low-rise building in a neighborhood that is as diverse in every conceivable way. I'm afraid I'll die before I say what I have to say, to make my voice heard, and to create the beauty I see inside me using material things. I dream of doing what my heart longs to do, writing, creating, making beautiful things out of items that have been discarded. I am Yasmin, the moody blue-black Christmas cactus, not merry, but very bright. That's it.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. I'm telling you, I love that Christmas cactus prickly. It's great.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Let me switch to gallery. Who's next? Carol Ann, you're loving all these poems. Do you want to share yours?
Okay. I'll be brave. I am Carol Ann, the peaceful turquoise palm tree, because I'm learning to bend with the flow of changes in the weather. I am now a healthier, shorter, thinner female who is not as pretty as I was when I was fatter. I am the daughter of Mary Alice, and I am the Hanai sister to hundreds. I am fun, compassionate, and protective of those whom society or others tries to marginalize or mistreat. I believe in loving and sharing, in understanding and accepting, in openness, and in wanting to treat others the way I would like to be treated. My home is 2 stories tall, something I wished for as a child, and now I sometimes wonder why I thought that was a goal. I live in Hawaii. This country is struggling to be the best it can be, and I am endeavoring to help it do that. I fear I will lose my mama. I dream that I can travel all over safely, expanding my horizons and meeting new friends. I give hope where there is despair, a listening ear where there is rage, and comfort where there is suffering. I am Carol Ann, the turquoise palm tree that bends with the changes in the weather, who dreams of traveling and expanding my horizons and meeting new friends, and fears losing my mama, so I will enjoy every moment I have with her.
That was amazing. Thank you. I really love the contrast of the fear and the dream together like that. I think it's really powerful. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing with us. I really appreciate that. Anyone else want to put voice to their story in this small group together?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. I am a sister, daughter, and friend. I feel guilt, shame, and sadness. I believe in codependency, inability to say no, and walking on eggshells for others. I am a sister, daughter, and friend. I feel strong, healthy, and me. I believe in boundaries, coping skills, and seeing food as medicine. My home is my sanctuary where I am safe to take up my space. I live somewhere that was once only my dreams. Please don't let me revert back to behaviors that no longer serve me. Please don't let me end up on the floor again. I dream of a version of myself that has learned from all of her mistakes. When life has its twists, she turns.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Anissa. I love that. I especially love that line that you said, when life has its twists, she learns to turn, or she has her turn. I really like that. That was really powerful.
Hi, I'd like to share.
Okay.
Christoph, hungry orange gerbera, famished for hope and longing for learning, almost invisible pale Irish mouse, daughter, sister, and descendant of pain. I feel passionate, inquisitive, pensive, constrained. I believe learning is everything and science is the key. I believe in compassion, trust, integrity, tolerance, honesty. My home is a small, dark hideaway in a busy urban area of an adopted country. I fear losing myself in the relationships that help me remember who I am. I dream of being who I used to be, recovering and achieving dreams I can no longer recall. I give all that I am, and it's never enough. Christoph, hungry orange daisy, famished for feeling and hungry for hope. I dream of a future built on yesterdays I can't remember, and I fear that tomorrow is lost in a fog of the past.
Amazing. Mind blown. That was beautiful. Krista, please come back. It was the visuals for me too. Yeah, Anissa, I agree. That was what it was. I was caught up in your voice as well. It was very powerful.
Yvonne, the calm purple sunflower, following the light, standing tall, but drooping down. I am strong, female, appreciative. I am the daughter of Rick and Maddie, little sister of Cheryl. I feel open-minded, vulnerable, and humorous. I believe in authenticity and interconnectedness. My home is a small older house. I live on an island. This country is beautiful and diverse. I fear failure and big changes. I dream of making a difference, and I give my true self. Yvonne, the calm purple sunflower, following the light, standing tall but drooping down. I dream of making a difference, and I fear failure and big changes, and will take them head on.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Yvonne. I love the imagery in that one as well. I love the tall sunflower, but drooping down. I think that's beautiful. I could just see it when you were speaking.
All right. Well, Thank you, Destiny, and thank you all for joining us for our second installment of Creative Coping. I've just put a link for our survey in the chat. Please go ahead and click on that link and fill out the survey. It's not long and it'll help us make the next workshop better. If you'd like to revisit this workshop or recommend it to a friend who couldn't attend, you can find a playback of the live stream on Nami's Facebook page, and you'll be able to find it on Samaritan Counseling Center Hawaii's YouTube in a week or two. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us or visit our websites. The links are on screen, and I've also sent out an email to everybody about 10 minutes ago that has the links for everything.
Again, thank you, everyone. I see all the thank yous in the chat before easier to just say it out loud for me. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome. This is just as fulfilling for me as I hope it was for all of you.
Thank you.
This is our second
Wow.
one. Hopefully we'll do it again.
It's a wonderful, wow. Thank you all for sharing.
Yes,
That was
great.
Thank you.
Looking for 3.
For those of you who have the rest of your day ahead of you, enjoy your day. For those of you who are going to sleep, enjoy your night. Aloha, mahalo.
Aloha. Thank you so much.
Bye.
That's beautiful.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.